Money has right all things they said. So let me ask you, if you wake up tomorrow and your account balance with zero, who would you be? Not what you own, not by where you live, not by your job title, not even by your hustle. I mean you. Who will be left? Because for many Nigerian men, money is no longer something we have. Money has become something we have. And the day your value gets tied to your wallet, every financial setback starts to feel like a personal failure. Not an inconvenience, not bad luck, failure. And that's what we're talking about today: money, shame, and survival. Welcome back to the Nigerian Man Podcast. My name is Sanjay Marvel. If you've listened to the previous episodes, we've talked about who the Nigerian man is. We talked about the weight of expectations, the pressure, the responsibilities, the things people expect from you before you even figured yourself out. But there's one thing sitting underneath almost all of that: money. Whether we like it or not, whether we admit it or not, money affects almost everything. From the way people see us to the way we see ourselves, the confidence we carry, the opportunities available to us, even the relationships we enter. And because of that, many men are walking around carrying financial stress they have never properly named. Not because they are lazy, not because they are irresponsible, but because surviving today has become a full-time occupation. Sometimes it feels like you're not building a life anymore, you're just maintaining one. From paying bills to covering emergencies, solving problems, then waking up tomorrow to solve new ones. And after a while, survival becomes normal. And what's interesting is that most of us learned the importance of money long before we ever earned any. You heard things like read your book so you won't suffer. Do you want to end up poor? Your father's trying. One day you will take care of this family. Actually, nobody meant harm by it. Most of the people saying those stuff loved us. But somewhere along life, many boys absorbed a message that sounded stern and like this: if you have money, you matter. If you don't have money, you don't. And that's a dangerous message, a dangerous lesson. Because life is unpredictable. Jobs disappear, businesses fail, the economy crash, opportunities dries up. And when your entire identity is built around financial success, every setback becomes an attack on your self-worth. And let's be honest, social media has made this worst. You might pick up your phone to scroll through, then you see one guy just bought a new car, another relocated abroad, one is getting married next week, another started a business, someone else has just posted a screenshot of 6 figures, and before you know it, you're questioning your entire life. You weren't even unhappy 5 minutes ago. Now suddenly you are behind. Suddenly you are late. Suddenly everyone else seems to have figured it out. But here's what nobody tells you: you're comparing your behind the same footage to someone else's highlight reel. You don't even know how much they owe in debt. You don't know their stress. You don't know their sacrifices. You don't know what they traded to get what they are showing. all they show you and all you see is the result. And comparison is expensive. It steals peace faster than poverty ever could. Now let me tell you about someone. Let's call him Dakpo. Dakpo is a graduate with good grades, bright future. Everyone is proud. Family members start introducing Dakpo as our graduates, our future, our hope. 3 years later, reality arrives. Jobs are scarce, opportunities are inconsistent, the bills don't care, responsibility keep growing. Dakwa applies for jobs, get rejected, learns a new skill, tries freelancing. He even starts a small business. He failed. He starts again. Meanwhile, everyone keeps asking, so how far, Dakwa? When are you settling down? When are you bringing someone home? When are we hearing good news? Nobody cares to see his effort. They only want to see the results. And gradually, Dapo begins to believe that maybe he is the problem. Not because he failed, but because he hasn't succeeded yet. And there are thousands of Dapo listening to me right now. One thing I don't think we talk much about is what survival mode does to a man. When every month becomes an emergency, when every phone call feels expensive, when every plan depends on money you don't yet have, something changes. You stop dreaming, you stop planning, you stop imagining. The future becomes smaller. Everything becomes about getting through today. And that's understandable, but it is also dangerous. Because survival is supposed to be for a season, not an identity. You were not born merely to survive. You were meant to build, to create, to become. But it is difficult to think about purpose when rent is due. Definitely. So imagine carrying a backpack, an empty backpack to be precise. At first it's light. Then somebody adds a stone. Let's call this stone school fees. Then someone adds another one, call it rent. Another fuel. Another expectations. Another different kind of stone, family responsibilities, inflation, comparison, fear. One day the weight becomes too much. You bend under it. And people will ask, what's wrong with him? Nobody asks how much he was carrying. And maybe that's the point. Maybe you are not weak. Maybe you are tired. Maybe you are not failing. Maybe you are carrying more than people know. Maybe the environment is harder than anyone wants to admit. Maybe the shame you are attached to money was never yours to carry. This podcast is not here to tell you that money doesn't matter, because it does. Let's be adult. Money matters. But your bank account is not your character. Your income is not your identity. And your current situation is not your final destination. There's a difference between being broke and being broken. Don't confuse the two. So if today's conversation resonated well with you, send this episode to someone. Your friend, your brother, your colleague. Somebody carrying more than they talk about. And if you are currently in a difficult financial season, hear this clearly. You are allowed to acknowledge that it's hard. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you honest. This is the Nigerian Man Podcast, and I remain your host, Sandy Marvel. And until next time, carry yourself well.